Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome to a new edition of our show titled Speak of Africa. Brothers and sisters, we cannot really thank you enough. We had a video last 2 weeks titled Coup d'etat. So many of you reacted to this video, and that's really what we've been looking for. Unfortunately, 60 of you unsubscribed, then 1,200 subscribed. We feel bad each time we lose one subscriber. So we really want to change things. We're appealing to you. Continue to send us your messages. If you don't like anything that we've said, please do not unsubscribe. Come back, watch the show, and share your discontent with us. We're going to make sure that we deal with what is bothering you, because that's really what this show is about. We're trying to create a community. We're trying to create a family. So if we can have a family, then we can really express ourselves. So please, do not be offended if we said anything which is contrary to what you think. Continue to share your displeasure with us. We are not dictators. This show is your show. So we're telling you to feel free to air your views. If something displeases you, tell us. If you like something we're doing, also tell us. Because this is really what we want. We want a show that really reflects the aspirations of our people. That's why we're spending time on this show. We want a show that really reflects what you think. We are your voice. So if this voice veers off from what you are thinking, hold us accountable, because this show is based on accountability. As much as we're holding our politicians accountable, you also want to hold us, the producers of this show, accountable. And we're accountable to you, the people, because this show is for you. This show is your show. So please do not get angry and unsubscribe. Instead, this is your house. Bring more people to subscribe to this show, because we need those numbers. We desperately need this number to go up. So you are very important. Don't think that because we had 1,200 new subscribers, we're going to ignore the 60 of you who unsubscribe. No, we want the 60 people who unsubscribe to subscribe again. We need you back into this family, and we want to move with you so that we can get to the promised land, because that's really where we think Africa needs to be. As much as the Europeans left Europe and created a new paradise in America, we need to stay in our own motherland and create a new paradise in Africa. That's really the argument of this show. We think that we can create a new paradise by creating a new African nation. The African nation will consist of resources, natural resources, human resources, and we'll even have technology, which is why I'm going to start the show of today by introducing you to technology that we've created, our company. We've built a medical software application which we think can really help a lot of Africans who are in the United States, and even those who are abroad can also benefit from this invention. Healthcare is very, very complex in the US, and documentation is really important. Sometimes the difference between life and death is the availability of patient information. A patient information that can really help to change things. When you have patient information at your fingertips, as a physician, it makes it easy for you to diagnose this patient and prescribe what you think is the right procedure to really help this patient. So we created this system, which is affordable. We call it alexacare.com. We mentioned it to you before, but we're already putting it on our web servers, which we build with Amazon. Now, our developers are putting the software already on Amazon, and we have a whole lot of pictures for you to see. Then we've come up with a free trial, a 30-day free trial, because we want this business to be based on an honor system. We want doctors to try this software. If they like it, they buy it. If they don't like it, no questions asked. And this software is so simple, the way we develop it, we make it based on a page, a magic page. You stay on that page all day. So it's very, very simple. You don't really need to learn a whole lot of commands to use it. We just have one screen, one page that you stay on all day. From the very beginning of the software, you will see what I call a dashboard. If you own a practice, the dashboard will give you the statistical information you need to know about your practice in a day when you open. Then after that, we have a patient roster, which helps you gather all the information that you want to know about your patient. Then after that, we have a screen for charges. As a doctor, when you consult with your patients, you need to charge them for your services. Some will choose to pay you cash, or some may ask you to build their insurance company. Our software makes it easy for you to handle all these charges. Then next, you also have to produce claims. Even the claim form is digital. So we'll put all of this in the software. Then when you have rejected claims, which is one of the biggest problems physicians face with billing, is rejected claims. We have a library of all the codes which are approved by the American Medical Association. So you have the procedure codes, and you have the diagnosis codes, and even the HCPC codes. They're all built into this application. We have a section of the program called Master Codes. That's where all the codes reside. Then you also have reports. The reports make it easy for you to see what you want to know about your practice, okay? Then in addition to reports, we also have payments. We have payments which show exactly how much it's costing to produce what you do for a patient. So with all of this, it gives you a slight idea of what the software is about. So if you're in the USA, you can actually benefit from this development. We'll make it easy for different people to help us to sell the software to their doctor. Or if you are in Africa and you work in a hospital, or you know people who are in a hospital, we also want you to work with us so that we can market this software far and wide, okay? So this is what we really want you to know, because this software is going to really change a whole lot of work in healthcare, and we're asking you to work with us to make sure that this software gets in the hands of a whole lot of people. Next, we want to go now to our news coverage. The news coverage of today, we're going to look at African presidents. When we look at African presidents today, everything falls under what I call bowing out or sitting tight. So it's just like a tale of two cities. You have presidents who are sitting tight. You have presidents who are bowing out. Those who are bowing out, we really commend them, because when you've stayed in power for too long, it's really boring. The people get tired of you and nobody wants you, okay? And for those who are bowing out, we really give them credit. We start with Joseph Kabila of Congo DRC. Even though he did not really want to leave, but finally he did the honorable thing. He left power, he gave power to Felix Tshisekedi. So we thank him very much for doing this. We know his critics have been saying, this guy stayed for too long, he wanted to change the constitution, but let's just say one thing, he did the honorable thing and quit. Then we go now to the next person, which is Mohamed Aziz, okay, of Mauritania. He also is bowing out, so we think this is something positive, okay? When you bow out, you show a good sign. Then let's also look at Niger. Niger is a small African country, but Mahamadou Issoufou, who is the president, is also ready to bow out. So we think these are good examples. You don't have to stay in power for too long is a very, very good idea. So we want to see leaders who can come in and leave before the people get tired of them. But on the other side, we have what we call the sit-tight guys. Number one is Mr. Paul Biya. We know we've been hitting on this guy. Today, we are going to report about his visit to Europe. For over 9 months, since 2018, he's not been able to travel. So most of the militants of the opposition groups have been threatening and saying that this guy is not going to come out, because if he comes out, we're going to threaten him, we're going to disturb his trip. But he has done what he always does best, by challenging the militants, the opposition. As they once said, he will never go to Douala. Mais voici donc à Douala. This time, mais voici donc en Europe, en Suisse. So most of the opposition guys like BAS, Brigade Anti-Sardina, who are part of CODE, the movement that is really against Mr. Paul Biya, they are already mobilizing. So we are really expecting to see a very, very big protest in Europe this weekend, because all the forces are mobilizing from different parts of the world to come to Europe and challenge Mr. Paul Biya. So we're thinking that it's going to really be big. So we're telling you that it's going to be a big this thing. Then on the other side too, Mr. Paul Biya's CPDM party has militants in Paris. They are very small, but they too think that they can come and make some noise. So we really are asking ourselves. So some people may ask, what is Mr. Paul Biya doing in Europe this time? Well, he enjoys Europe, and it looks like he likes to stay there. But there are two speculations. Speculation number one is that he had come for a form of dialogue or peacemaking with the Anglophone separatists and the people in the MRC of Maurice Kamto. The second speculation is that he's there for health reasons. Look at both reasons. We think because of some of the failures of the movement to try to bring some kind of solution to the Anglophone problem and the Maurice Kamto thing, the negotiations did not work. So we don't really think he's really there for any peaceful negotiation. Because this guy doesn't like to negotiate. He prefers to repress. So we don't think any negotiation is going to take place. Certainly, we are really sure that he's there primarily for health reasons. So we're going to see how he's going to fare by staying in this place with all the noise from the opposition guys. So things are going to be tough. But we know he's going to try as much as possible. At the same time, to talk about Cameroon, we're not just going to concentrate only on the Biya trip to Europe. This past weekend, we're really disheartened when we saw the news of over 21 people who lost their lives traveling from Baham to Douala by collision, and over 21 people died. So we really feel sad, and would like to take a moment of silence to console the families of the disease, okay? Okay, so we feel bad. So this accident occurred, why? Because most of the roads in that country are really bad. And the way the drivers ply most of these routes, they don't really take a lot of precaution. Even though there may be civilian or civil codes explaining how or regulating traffic, but most of the police officers do not really respect the laws of the land. So if a driver can bribe them, they would allow the driver to ply the route, even if the driver doesn't have the proper documents in the vehicle, so long as they can collect money. So which is why accidents like this happen all the time. But the accidents also lay threadbare the failure of the Biya regime even to build roads, because most of the roads are so bad that you always have accidents. There's no control. So it's just like what Fela calls confusion. Motor they come from north, motor they come from south, motor they come from east, motor they come from west. No policeman, no there for center. Now confusion be that. No be so. So that's basically what we can say about this accident. But a lot of people lost their lives. So we don't really know when this government is going to start learning to be careful, so that way people are not really dying as much as they are dying. But at the same time, talking about Cameroon, you saw what happened at the Female World Cup, right? Yeah, we really appreciated the game of the female players. Somebody like Ajara stood out like a star. But at the same time, too, the ladies really became notorious, okay? So the notorious female Cameroonian. In fact, when I look at the game between Cameroon and England, you see the British coach Neville was so angry with most of these players to the point that he just felt like they should never come and play a game like this. So it looks like probably FIFA may decide to sanction these ladies because they didn't like their challenge of authority and unruly behavior. But we think that at least they came out, at least showed what they could do to really represent their country. And part of the problem too has to do with money. So money is always a problem whenever you have the Cameroon team or African teams playing abroad, because there's a lot of corruption. The players don't get paid. So this time the players insist until they get paid before they go to the field. So it looks like even the Cameroonian team that was supposed to go to Egypt almost missed the flight. They got it late, and it's because they were arguing for money. They wanted to get their money before traveling. So players always have a lot of issues in this country because they are supposed to play for fun, to represent their country. But at the same time, this is their livelihood. They really want to be paid for the games. So it's good for the Minister of Sport and all these authorities to always make sure that they get paid before they even leave. Why do you have to wait until the last minute before worrying about paying the players or bringing sacks of money to the field? It's just because our people don't like to plan anything. So it's always good to plan things, which is what we tell a lot of African countries.
let's get it on. If you searching for a house, call up my man Prince Ojong, the best in real estate. Take it from your guy's shape. When I say his services are the best in the states, word is born. He even take care of your tax forms, fat refunds. So come, get your business done. Consultations, financial organization, fast processing. No waiting, this man is amazing. The Prince.
Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131.
The big story of today is actually going to be Ethiopia. We've been covering Ethiopia a whole lot on our show. The last time when Abiy Ahmed became Prime Minister, we covered Ethiopia and we're touting the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia is a very big country. In fact, anything close to Ethiopia would be Nigeria. Ethiopia is a very large country and there's also a large population. Then they also have many ethnic groups, okay? But you have the dominant ethnic groups such as the Oromo and the Amhara, okay? Abiy Ahmed comes from the Oromo tribe, but today we're going to report on a coup d'etat that took place. It's a failed coup d'etat, but it was very bloody. The chief of staff of the army, Sihil Mekonnen, was killed. A friend who was visiting him was also killed. Then the coup leader is actually a guy called Asamniu Sige. This guy has been in jail before, but he was rallying forces in Amhara country. Then he decided to put some videos on, I think, Facebook to signal their displeasure. So he had everything so coordinated in a nice way that they killed so many people. And eventually he himself was killed, but not before killing over 5 government officials and other people. So it was a really bloody coup. Some people are just asking us, why is it that a nice guy such as Abiy Ahmed, he came with a reform agenda and is following through with all the reforms. Why is it that there's a coup d'etat? There's a coup d'etat because you still have a whole lot of people who are disgruntled. For example, the Oromo are the biggest tribe, then Amhara follows second. So every group wants power because there's some kind of a tribalism going on in much of Africa. The people don't really believe in the politics of ideas. They believe in the politics of the tribe. People are more faithful to their tribes before they become faithful to the nation, which is why it's difficult to really build an African nation in Africa, because the loyalty of most people is not to the country, it is to their tribe. And that's what really happened with Asamniu Sige, the coup ringleader. He had been in jail and he came out and orchestrated this coup in Amhara region, but many people were killed. So we even saw the PM, Abiy Ahmed, coming on TV to declare that all the coup plotters have been vanquished to the country. But when you look at this coup, it reminds us that all is not well in Ethiopia. Okay, we've been reporting on the developments in that country. Abiy Ahmed has been following a reform agenda, which is good, but there are a lot of forces that are opposed to reform. These are people who have been benefiting from the old regime. The Sargin, PM, had resigned before Abiy Ahmed came to power. But even with all this reform, we think that he's doing the right thing, he's liberalizing the economy, he's letting women to have more say in the government. You would think that a guy like this should really enjoy the popularity of the country. No, you see how people who don't like him, who just think things should go back to the way they used to be. By liberalizing the country, he has unleashed a whole lot of forces that were contained by dictatorship. So that makes things really tough for Abiy Ahmed. But he's a smart guy. So far, he has really withstood a whole lot of attacks. There was a time that a grenade was thrown close to him. A few people died. He survived. So he looks like a survivor. But how many times are we going to sit and watch this guy attacked by his enemies? He's trying to do something positive, but his enemies keep bringing something that can really create more trouble. So we think that in order for democracy to reign in Africa, we need to start learning how to be democratic ourselves. because we are not really tolerant of each other, which is the problem that we are raising on this show. We need to be tolerant of each other. We need to allow others to think their own thoughts. So we need to accept the fact that we are one people instead of only looking at our tribe. Tribalism is what is really destroying much of Africa, because we cannot go forward if we continue just being loyal to our tribe. We have to understand that we have something bigger, which is the nation. Patriotism is what we need to start building. If I belong to a nation, what has the nation done for me? So it's the same kind of John F. Kennedy type of question. Ask what you've done for your country. Don't just ask what your country has done for you. Interestingly, in much of Africa, people tend to ask more, what has the country done for me? So as politicians, we have to start striving to deliver for the people. If we don't deliver for the people, then it will be tough to really make our people happy. And if our people are not happy, then there will always be civil strife in the country. So this is a lesson we think most of the politicians need to learn. The coup in Ethiopia should just be an eye-opener. In order to avoid more coups, as we said before, we need to have governments that are open. We need to avoid the politics of exclusion. The national cake needs to be shared equitably among all the people. But when you get into power and you only bring people of your tribe to run things, then you ignore or marginalize other people. This creates room for a lot of conflict. And this is why we're telling our people now that, listen, when you get into power, try as much as possible to be open so that you can help other people. When you do this, it really creates good feeling in the country. And before you know it, more and more people will start following you. We know it is really difficult as a leader to please a few individuals, but we have to make that effort to at least try, okay? We have to make the effort to try. And let's look at the example of some of the good leaders who are buying out. Then we'll forget about those sit-tight guys.
Life insurance money secrets of millionaires and billionaires exposed. Discover how America's rich and famous exploit these arcane tools to build fabulous wealth. Why should these big white guys have all the fun? Let Prince Ojong, the celebrity author of The Miraculous Millionaire, show you the little understood life insurance way to riches. Are you still doubting the good things that life insurance can do for you? Trust strategies, estate planning, 401k rollover, annuity contract, cash value, education funding, executive benefits, income protection, life protection, living benefits, mortgage protection, tax-free retirement? Think and grow rich with life insurance. Your amazing journey to wealth begins by calling Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131.
Paul Biya is not the only sit-tight guy. There are so many of them. Look at Rwanda. In the past, we have covered Rwanda after the genocide. We've pointed out some of the nice things Paul Kagame is doing, but why must he stay in power forever? That's the question we're asking. You alone, Mr. Kagame, cannot be the best for the country. There are other people who can run the country. So that's the problem. Then you look at Uganda, Yoweri Museveni. He doesn't want to leave. He's also another sit-tight guy. Why must he stay in power forever? So those are questions that the people need to start asking again. Togo. Look at Fore Nasingbe Eyadema. Why must he stay there forever? So that's the question we're asking. And we keep asking these questions until our people start thinking. So the purpose of this show, as we keep telling you, is to make you think so that collectively we can start looking for a way to build a new African nation. A new African nation is a nation that is free, politically, economically, and socially. Without these options in place, it will be difficult to have a genuine African nation. So we're telling you, we're happy with what you've done so far. You've been watching our show and you've been subscribing, and we'll ask you to continue to subscribe. Continue to engage us. Even if you don't like any piece of the content, let us know. As you can see, we respond. Some of you call us from Africa and we respond. Some of you contact us on Facebook, we respond. Some of you contact us on YouTube, we respond. So we're sensitive to your needs. We don't ignore you. So we encourage you to continue responding to us. If there's something that annoys you about the show, let us know. Don't sit quietly. We will not know if you sit quietly. We are not gods. We are just average people. And our goal is to serve you, the people. If you know a way in which this show can be more useful to you, please suggest ideas, because we don't know everything, okay? We don't want to arrogate to ourselves the position of people who know everything. No, we know very little. We're depending on you to help us inform you better. If there's something you think we're not covering, we need to cover, like a lady once mentioned Biafra to us, and we told her that no, we've been covering Biafra and the Delta region. So it's just that she's not been watching our shows regularly. So we're telling you now that in order to be getting all our videos, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. When you subscribe, you make it easy so that each time we have a new video, you receive it automatically. When you receive it automatically, share it with your friends, because that's how we can start creating a new African nation, by having people, by having our own community. We don't have to depend on other people to develop Africa. We have to do it ourselves. And that's the challenge for the new generation of Africans. That's the challenge to you. So I want to end this show by thanking you very, very much for making our last video go viral. I know you can do it again. Keep subscribing and keep sharing. Share using all the social media, and one day we'll be able to get to where we want to be. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.
Ojong. Omasaki sende mule mama myaje. Onyate wamo winde umyanga. Omasaki sende muti mami myaje o. Onyate wamo winde umyanga. L'initiateur, le roi de l'Afrique. Tout ce qui touche devient de l'or.